Hello and welcome to the first ever round of Atom Cup 2013 here at Silverstone circuit. The drivers have just had a decent hearty breakfast, so they'll be ready to go. Let's go and have a quick chat with them and see how they're feeling about the first race. Now this is your first ever time racing, isn't it? And you've set the fastest lap and got on pole. That must feel amazing. How are you feeling about that?
Yeah, pretty happy about it obviously, but makes me a bit of a target today in the first race, starting out in the front. But I'll just do my best, try and keep it at the front as well.
My first ever race as well, so I'm feeling proper nervous basically.
Oh, see, it's a lot of the guys' first races ever this morning. How did you find qualifying went yesterday?
Qualifying was better for practice, or better than practice for me, but I'm just learning. It's such a huge learning curve for me that I'm just going to try and get to the end of the race with all four wheels on and vaguely in touch.
How did you find qualifying went yesterday?
All right, actually, all right. I did a couple of practice starts, so I'm not sure everybody did. So I'm feeling quite good about those. I'm fifth out of eighth, which is fine. I'm on a few more laps, and I think it's funny these things. You go through a corner, and you think, no, I could have gone through that faster. Actually, I could have gone through that one faster. But so I'm aware where there's time to go quicker, really. So it's just between head and right foot. It's not always, doesn't always correlate. But I'll try and have another go today, really.
So I hear you've flown over from France specifically to drive in the Atom Cup.
I have Atoms in France. And as the track was in Silverstone, which is a great track for me, I'm coming here to make the first race and try to push the French color on the top.
Feeling positive?
Yes, it's going to be my first race ever, so I'm going to be learning as I'm driving, I guess.
Sounds great. Well, the best of luck for your first race. Thank you. Thank you. How did qualifying go yesterday?
Awful. Next question.
How did it go awful? What happened?
I think I was trying too hard, to be honest. But I thought I could go. I thought I had more ability than I have, so I need to calm down a little bit and think a bit more about it. But it should be okay.
It's my first ever race, so but I hope we can have a good race. There's three of us at the front, which we should have a good battle. So we'll see what we can do.
So Lewis, how are you feeling about the first round today of Atom Cup?
Yeah, pretty chilled out about it, quite excited. Could have done with a bit more time in the car really. Didn't see the car until yesterday, so I'm only 16 laps into it at the back of the grid, but yeah, all to play for today.
So you feeling ready to go?
No.
Well, here we are, we're on the grid for the first ever race of Atom Cup 2013. We've got Paul. It's just pulling up behind me now. He set the fastest lap yesterday, so he has set the time and he's on pole position. Let's see how they do today.
History in the making then, the first ever race from the Atom Cup, and don't they look magnificent on the grid here, and the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit, no more fitting place to inaugurate a new championship with Paul Donkin in pole position from Nick Whitehead, Jean-Pascal Bergay and Richard Marler completing the second row of the grid as they're ready for the off, and away we go. And it's a good start from Donkin. He's got the sky blue flash, but also well away is Nick Whitehead, and it's Whitehead who's going to lead into Copse Corner for the first time. We're in car Jean-Pascal Bergay, who's rather lost a little bit of ground. It's Richard Marler who's trying to pick his way around, so he climbs back up into fourth position, accelerating on to Maggots and Beckett's for the first time through, but it's Paul Donkin then who has got the early advantage. Nick Whitehead then in second position in car with Rob Austin as he looks inside Jonathan Leck. That's a brave move, and as Leck seen him, they very nearly interlock wheels, but it's Austin who powers through onto the hanger straight for the first time, where it's going to be Slipstream Ahoy. Right, let's look at the start from the perspective of Lewis Cook, accelerating on towards Copse Corner. Jonathan Leck to the left-hand side of the screen, who again makes it a very close call for Lewis Cook. Not sure Lewis was overly impressed with that, as he slips towards the back of the field. Nick Whitehead is in hot pursuit of Paul Donkin. Very ahead of it, they head past the wing pits and on to Abbey. Very, very quick corner, and through to the race goes Nick Whitehead. Donkin, though, then looks to draw alongside him. And in third position, Jean-Pascal Berguet sees the two leaders fanning out side by side. Running maybe a little bit wider is Whitehead. It means Donkin then dives back into these. They head around the loop. Lovely, these cars can run so closely together without really any rear spoilers to speak of. It makes slipstream very easy. It makes mechanical grip all important. It means the cars can run side by side or nose to tail through the turns as they head down towards the braking area for Brooklands. The fight for second and third, and it could be Frenchman Jean-Pascal Berguet who moves to the inside of Nick Whitehead. Not quite. Whitehead covers the line in time for Luffield, though again slithers out a little bit wide. All the while, though, this is enabling Paul Donkin to move clear ahead of the field. Well, he's got the honour of leading the first ever lap in the Atom Cup, but he gets it all wrong into Kopp's corner there. Slithers out wide, through to the head of the pack goes Jean-Pascal Berguet. And also, Nick Whitehead may also look to poach the place. He does just that. The next car in train is the number 12 machine. That's Matt Pryor. He's got another white nose cone similar to that of the race leader, Jean-Pascal Berguet. And so really, it's the race leader, Berguet, who's made the escape. Everybody else is running in a train, headed up by Nick Whitehead. There is Rob Austin. We go back in car with Paul Donkin, heading down the hanger straight on towards Stowe Corner. And Whitehead will surely be aware that Donkin's coming, and Donkin could have gone through here, but doesn't even hit the brakes into Stowe Corner. And he has done just that. Traditional Silverstone move. It's now Matt Pryor, number 12, who is next to take his turn, trying to elevate himself onto the podium. Nick Whitehead has got the pace, but he breaks very, very deeply there into Club. Also going around is Rob Austin, and Austin has the quick spin in number 22. Rejoins, distinctive red nose cone there. Now, how did it feel in car with Rob Austin? On the brakes, down the gears, it's all going sideways before he turns into the corner. The rear of the car overtakes the front, and around he goes. He's lost barely any time at all. It's a brilliant recovery there. So he gets back on his way. Jean-Pascal Berguet, the race leader, he's not really breaking clear here. They're about to head on to Wellington Straight once more in the leading duo. This is now Jean-Pascal Berguet and Nick Whitehead moving clear of the rest of the pack, and the gaps are just seesawing amongst the leaders each and every time through. So along the Wellington Straight, on the brakes to Brooklands and launching a move to the inside. That's very, very brave stuff from Nick Whitehead, and he very nearly poaches the lead of the race. And then slithers a little bit sideways as he tries to get the power down en route towards Luffield, therefore doesn't make friends with the apex through Luffield, unlike the race leader, Pascal Berguet, who has once more got a challenge from Whitehead, and Whitehead powers his way through Woodcote. Newly demoted, Pascal Berguet then in second position, which is Whitehead take the lead and try and pull clear into Copse, barely lifting. You can hear the engine though, and that means Berguet seesaws the wheel, runs out a little bit wide, but it hasn't slowed him down at all in pursuit of Nick Whitehead as they sprint towards Maggots and Beckett. If anything, in fact, we're going to see a challenge for the lead here. Around the outside line to Maggots is very, very brave indeed. No way through. Nick Whitehead, though, using all of the road, just about holding the lead of the race. But if he and Berguet slow themselves down, it's going to bring some of those a little bit further back into the mix as around goes Whitehead. A huge spin from Nick Whitehead as he tried to get the power down through Chapel onto the hanger straight. Loses the ground. Let's have another look at it in car with Nick Whitehead. It's already going sideways well before Chapel, in fact. Around he goes and does very well to keep that out of the tyre barriers. Powers back on the track, through the gravel trap, rejoins. It's Paul Donkin and Matt Pryor engage in battle for second position at the moment. It's Pryor who has just got his nose in front. And one of the beauties of these Atom Cup cars is the perspex side to the cockpit, which means you can really see the drivers at work, a little bit like the six-wheeler Tyrrells we had in the 1970s, except more so as Donkin looks to the outside of Pryor through Abbey Corner. No way through there. Pryor plants his right foot. What can Donkin do? He thinks about the move to the inside for the left-hander. Nothing doing there. As running wide is Matt Pryor. Something that's becoming very evident in this first race of the Atom Cup is these cars are pretty difficult to stop, and they're also very prone to going sideways through the corners. I suspect they are going to just swell in terms of a grid size as the year goes on, because these look like such fun to race. They're brilliant fun to watch as well. As down the Wellington Straight go the race leaders. A little bit further down the field we see Richard Marler and the recovering Nick Whitehead engaged in battle, with its Marler. Black nose cone, black helmet, who's got his nose just ahead of Marler. They accelerate out of club and along past the new wing pits. Whitehead jinks to the inside line of Marler and through he goes. Will he hold that through? Yeah, after a fashion. Nick Whitehead, not sure the word fear even features in his vocabulary. Spectacular driver. Let's have a look here, and it's Jonathan Leck who has had an adventure. Rejoins the race, although unfortunately I think he's rather lost touch with the main pack. All the while though, Jean-Pascal Bergway leads the way into Brooklands, and it's not been a comfortable victory this for the Frenchman, but he has controlled the race very nicely. He tiptoes into Luffield and accelerates on towards Woodcote. Just runs out over the curb, perfectly done. In pursuit all the while is Paul Donkin, but Donkin I think is going to run out of time here to get onto terms with the first ever race winner of the Atom Cup. Jean-Pascal Bergway takes the victory. Second place goes to Paul Donkin, and completing the inaugural rostrum, Matt Pryor. Well, that was a very lively and very entertaining race, and this is how they finished, with the win for Jean-Pascal Bergway, just 2.5 seconds back Donkin. Pryor a further 2.5 seconds back, with Nick Whitehead recovering to fourth after that spin, Richard Marler in fifth, and Rob Austin completing the top six.
First place, how are you feeling?
Yeah, very cool. In fact, we have a nice fight at the beginning of the race with Nick in particular. He makes a small mistakes, but we'll be here for next race. And after that, it will be a little bit cool for me. But Paul was pushing on the back, and so I was obliged to keep on good laps, to finish.
First ever race in the Atom, and you came second, which is really well done. How are you feeling now?
Yeah, really happy about that. Obviously I started pole, but I would like to finish first, but Jean-Pascal, he was a bit quicker in the end. I was catching him towards the end, but you know, the best man won for this race.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I just wanted to stay out of trouble and get somewhere near the front-ish, and so yeah, podium's brilliant. I'm really genuinely thoroughly chuffed, actually. Yeah, really chuffed.
Well, that's the end of the first race here at Silverstone for Atom Cup. A very successful race and very good racing there. Now it's a bit breezy here and a bit chilly, so I'm going to go and get a cup of tea and I'll see you in 3.